Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. It is the Chase Parade season and the Nextel Cup Series, race 5 of 34 on the year. It's the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 at the Darlington Raceway. It's going to be a fun little race here today, 400 miles, 293 laps around the track that is too tough to tame. The Lady in Black, again, Darlington Raceway. And we all know Darlington puts on some great racing. We're going to have some great racing here with a little back in the heyday of NASCAR 2000. Well, it's NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005, but it's a 2004 season. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. If you're new to the channel, we've had a lot of new subscribers over the last couple of days. Hit that like button first and foremost. Tell your other friends and family to subscribe because we are growing this channel. I'm on the road to becoming a NASCAR broadcaster, so this is my first foot in the door of doing NASCAR video game live streams, live commentary over actual races that we have done over the course of weekends so far this season as well. Just getting into the swing of that for the first time also. Appreciate the support as always. We're about to hop on into this race. Again, 293 laps. Don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Snowman Dude 22 and Kyle Larson fan, welcome on into the stream, and welcome anybody else who is coming to tune in for this one. Qualified third with Jimmy Johnson for this race. It'll be Mark Martin starting on the pole. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Darlington. Again, Martin starting first. Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man, qualifies on the outside pole in second. That inside lane on the initial start was propelling Johnson to get by Newman through turns 1 and 2. Everybody kind of backing off maybe a little more into 3 and 4. A lot of great racing already on this game so far. Off of turn 4, Johnson wins the drag race to lead lap 1 from third to first. Clears Mark Martin up the racetrack into turn 1. Wanted to take advantage, be the first driver to get bonus points today, and was easily able to do just that. Jackson Thomas, Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, finished second by a point yesterday. At least you're still leading the overall standings. We had some crazy racing at Darlington the few times we were here on NASCAR Thunder 2004. We had a crazy NASCAR Busch Series race already at Darlington. In this game, NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. What will this race bring? Scott Riggs in the 10 car has already moved himself up to the second spot for MB2 Motorsports. Look at the solid run he's having early on. He's all over Jimmy Johnson off turn 4 and maybe trying to lead his first lap of the race. Can't really recall if Scott Riggs has led any laps at all so far this season. Qualified up towards the top portion of the field as well. It's a day race at Darlington. This is Darlington before they had lights. And there are 2 races at Darlington on this season. This 400 miler and then the famed Southern 500 later in the year as well. Also, kind of forgot to change the paint scheme coming into this race like I thought I was going to, so I'm really sorry for that. I was going to use a different one. Hopefully I remember to do that next time. Top 3 kind of pulling away from the rest of the field. 5 laps complete. Johnson's led them all so far. His car was a lot looser in practice in qualifying before the race. Made a little bit of an adjustment after he qualified third to try and tighten the race car up a little bit. It seems to be working at least early on. Very tough racetrack, especially with these older NASCAR EA Sports games. There's a bit of a slide up the track that time. Still able to get down in the center of the corner and keep Scott Riggs right behind him. Ryan Newman is in third place right behind Riggs, trying to make a move as Riggs into turns 1 and 2. Johnson kind of shuts the door. Newman looks to the inside of Scott. Scott's going to block him, diamonding the corner off through 1 and 2. Newman, he might have bounced off the wall off turn 2. Tough to tell. Keeps that momentum up. He must have kept it off the wall barely. Now maybe looking to the outside of Scott Riggs. Well, that's dangerous. No safer barrier around these racetracks in NASCAR 2004 as well. Sorry, NASCAR 2005. I say 2004 because this is the 2004 season, so sorry if I explain that at all or misinterprets it. I think the wildest race we've had so far this year was at Las Vegas. Another intermediate track today. Kind of races like a short track, though. Darlington is unlike any other track on the schedule, that is for sure. Riggs has a run through turns 1 and 2. Almost got to the inside of Johnson. Johnson with the block off turn 2. He's a little squirrely, though. Didn't mean to dive in that deep into the corner. He was loose all the way down the backstretch off turn 2. It took him so long to regather that car, and Scott Riggs gets to the lead through 3 and 4 to get 5 bonus points of his own. Newman got to the outside of Johnson but couldn't complete the pass. Allowed Jimmy to get that run off corner exit to get back around him. It's going to be a lot harder to pass. As this run goes on, I would feel this car's only going to loosen up more and more and more. Little tap to that left rear. Hang on. A little more contact down the front stretch. Johnson to the lead into turn 1. Trying to keep it off the 10 car. And he's back in the clean air. Maybe this car's going to start handling a little bit better again. Newman just about got underneath Scott Riggs off turn 2 as well. At 12 now. Got to leave at 8. Oh, that's unfortunate. Hopefully he can make it back by the finish. If not, no big deal. Maybe check it out tomorrow. We'll go back to the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode tomorrow night. Xfinity Series at Dover. Wow, big loose moment into turn 3. And now Johnson's up on the outside. Scott Riggs underneath him. Riggs clears. Johnson was out of the throttle so much in the center of the corner trying to keep it off the wall. Toughest racetrack to keep it off the wall in, especially with this game. As these tires wear out longer and longer into the run, it's only going to get more and more difficult. There should be a lot of tire wear here today. Tough to tell who's in 4th, closing in. It looks like it might be Jeff Gordon in the 24. How about Scott Riggs maybe being a contender early on? Never won a cup race in his NASCAR career. Looks very fast, at least early on. Johnson with a run off turn 2. Seems to be a little better in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. Deep dive into the corner, slides up into the 10 of Riggs. Slide job didn't work. Well, I guess it kind of worked. It got him to the lead, but he did not clear Riggs cleanly at all. Ryan Newman to the inside of Riggs now for 2nd place. Kind of forgot the apron doesn't work well in this game. They both kept it off the wall. I don't know how they did. Very minimal contact, luckily. And now Newman to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Wow, that got close off turn 4. Jimmy lifted quite a bit. He was on the brakes quite a bit on corner exit. Kills his momentum. Scott Riggs is going to get to his outside now. And that is Jeff Gordon in the 24. He's closing in fast. Gordon's won multiple times earlier in his career at Darlington. Back in the Gen 4 NASCAR days. Won $1 million at this racetrack once. The Winston Million. Bonus for winning particular races throughout the course of the season. Somewhat of what the Triple Truck Challenge kind of brings for the Truck Series in recent years, as well as the Dash for Cash in the Xfinity Series, but it only was $1 million on the line at that point in time for the Cup guys. Got a little loose into turn 3, trying to make that pass on Newman. They stay side by side. He was loose on corner entry, gassed it up in the center, and clears Newman off the exit of the corner. Jeff Gordon was able to get around Scott Riggs a lap and a half and go for 3rd place as well, trying to close in on his teammate Johnson, and maybe it could be a Hendrick Chevrolet battle towards the front for the lead here at Darlington. 4 different winners in the first 4 races this season as well. Man, I love this game, I'm telling you. Tiny mistake. Didn't hit the wall in the corner yet, at least. Didn't earn a traditional Darlington strike right there. Well, Ryan Newman was close to the wall all the way through turns 1 and 2, trying to get that outside lane maybe to work. Jeff Gordon closed in on him, though. Definitely want to keep your car clean all the way to the end in this race, that's for sure. Very treacherous pit road to get onto as well if this goes green for a while. And we end up having green flag pit stops. We'll wait and see. I don't remember seeing green flag pit stops in the Busch race here. I think we had a decent amount of cautions throughout. We had a lot of cautions in 2 of the NASCAR Thunder of 4 races of the 3 we ran here as well. Saw some nasty accidents too. Things happen so quick at this racetrack. Yeah, Hendrick tied Richard Petty, or Petty Enterprise at least, most wins for a team in NASCAR history. Have to assume that they're likely going to break that record sometime soon, the way that team's been rolling this year. 5 wins in the first 14 races as an organization. 4 different drivers have gone to victory lane. Wow, Newman's going to try the outside. He's been trying that outside for a couple laps in a row. This time he actually gets to the top on Johnson. Couldn't clear. Boy, Gordon so close behind Newman off turn 2. Newman going to look down low now. Johnson slides up just a tiny bit. Johnson has to keep it off the wall. Really had that right rear hanging out. I want to see how long we can go without getting into the wall in these corners, these tight corners at Darlington. 23 laps in, so far so good. And we've had 3 different leaders so far. Johnson's led the most, Scott Riggs has led a few laps, and now Ryan Newman leads for the 2nd time already today. And Jeff Gordon's right there with these guys. Riggs is kind of falling off. Maybe he just has a good short run car. Riggs is still in 4th, though, all by himself on the racetrack. Newman with an aggressive block that time down the front stretch. Might not have been clear of the 48 of Johnson. And now these two are pulling away from Jeff Gordon a little bit now that Newman is the guy out ahead. Yeah, tied with Patty Enterprise. That sounds like a car rental service. Drove it in way too deep into 1 and 2. It's just so hard to run side by side at this racetrack today. These guys have done very good that there's been very minimal contact in the opening laps. Guys not being too patient as far as trying to get to the lead and lead as many laps as they can with these bonus points on the line for the most laps led. Gordon hasn't led a single lap yet. You know, he's going to want to try to lead as soon as he can. Johnson into 1 and 2 this lap is going to complete the pass on Ryan Newman. Clear. Newman almost got in the wall again. See those scuff marks off the exit in turn 2? Somebody's gotten in the wall already once. Not sure who. Could have been anybody at this point. R6, welcome to the stream. 7 likes already as well. Make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Our goal is going to be 25 tonight. I think we can get 25 at Darlington. One of the better racetracks on the circuit. Saw some classic finishes for the Cup and the, at the time, Busch Series. In the mid-2000s at Darlington. A lot of people remember that Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch photo finish in 2003. Well, the Busch race that next day, they got rained out from the day before. They ran on a Monday, had a great classic finish between Todd Bodine and Jamie McMurray as well. Ooh, Johnson in the wall for the first time today through 3 and 4. It was a matter of time. Oh, man. Just could not get off of the wall once he got into it as well. And Jeff Gordon's up to second. Johnson got a great drive off. They're side by side, though, down the back straightaway. I thought Gordon was going to be able to clear and couldn't quite do it. Johnson really slid the car into 3 and 4. Gasses it up in the center and still stays clear of Gordon. Great job making sure that 24 car didn't clear. I think the goal should stay at 20. I figured to go a little bit above and go for 25 today. Why not? Qualified third tonight, by the way. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Love this, yeah. My favorite NASCAR game. One of my newer favorite tracks, honestly. As a younger kid, I didn't really think, like, too much of Darlington, and I think a lot of it's because I sucked at this racetrack and NASCAR video games when I was younger. It's probably why I didn't like it as much, but no, obviously, getting older, I mean, this track is awesome. Readjust the car on pit road. Yeah, we'll likely be making a little bit of adjustments throughout the course of the day. 30 laps on these guys' tires at this racetrack. More worn out surface at this period as well. It was repaved in 2007, so 2004 you can imagine. Surface pretty old. Newman and Johnson side by side for the lead currently. Ooh, little tag. A bumper tag, accidental of course, especially early. Jimmy trying to be patient and trying to get around Newman. If he has the opportunity, he's going to try to get there. Off turn 2, took that lower exit, got underneath him. He's got a big run into turn 3, goes all the way down the racetrack, slide job up into 3 and 4, and Johnson completes the pass. Beautiful work there. And he's back out in front again. A lot of lead changes, probably 5 or 6 of them already. Only between 3 guys. When did I say I was done with this game? I think you're thinking of NASCAR Thunder 2004. This is NASCAR 05. I have something planned down the road for like 04 in this playthroughs again for now. Not so much. Ooh, Gordon just about got the wall off turn 2. He had a very wide exit. I think he got a little tight. Front end really pushed up the racetrack. Loose. Gordon almost got underneath Newman. He kind of caught him in a bad spot where he wasn't quite inside. He had to lift and kind of pull up behind him. Oh, Newman got tight. Car wiggled quite a bit on Ryan Newman's 12, and he's side by side with Jeff Gordon off the exit of the corner. Gordon stays underneath him through 1 and 2, trying to take over second again. And he's going to clear Newman. Gordon trying to get 5 bonus points if he can get around his teammate Johnson. Getting close to doing it a little bit ago for second. Ooh, boy, he got really close to Jimmy. Gained a lot of ground in 3 and 4. And Gordon is on the attack. So the tires quite a bit that time off turn 2. Oh, wow. Jimmy got really loose, slid up just in front of Gordon, holds clear. Ryan Newman to the inside of Jeff now for second. Continuous battle, almost like a revolving door between these top 3. Riggs was in the mix, but he's really faded. especially since Jeff Gordon kind of started a little bit further back and worked his way inside the top 3 up to second. Hasn't led yet. Newman and Gordon about make contact again off turn 2 as they crisscross side by side. Newman down to the bottom. Now Gordon to the inside of Newman. Appreciate that comment, by the way, R6. I definitely want to get a job at a local racetrack when I can. I'm hoping by next year I could get a job at Toledo Speedway, ideally. I feel like that'd be a great, opportunity, especially with the ARCA series there. Contact between Gordon and Johnson. Johnson was extremely loose. Gordon tried to get to the outside. Gordon ended up in the wall after the contact with Jimmy. He's there again, and Jimmy's just going to let him go. It looked like he was going to, but then he beat him back to the gas and holds clear off turn 4 anyway. Gordon ended up in the wall. I think Jimmy kept it off the wall, but he did make a little bit of contact with Gordon. And Ryan Newman's back out in front for the 3rd or 4th time already. Rocket Man started on the front row in second. Pole sitter Mark Martin never led a lap. Not sure where he's at. He's outside the top 5. Or top 4, rather, at least. Johnson inside of Newman off turn 4. Tries the slide job into 1 and 2. He couldn't pull up because he wasn't clear yet. He's going to clear Newman off the exit of 2. Yes, he does. Good thing he didn't clear him too early. He's trying to keep this car clean. He's made contact with a couple. He made slight contact with Newman once and now with Gordon once as well. Right around that right rear both times as well. That right front's starting to wear out quite a bit now, lap 44. But anyway, what I was getting into is that Toledo Speedway hosts usually 1 to 2 ARCA races a year, even the top series of ARCA. It's kind of where I believe ARCA originated, and I feel like that would be a great opportunity for me to really get my name out there as far as, like, not so much online, but, at an actual racetrack as well. I don't know, what I'd be doing there. I'd like to be, lap by lap guy locally there. Obviously, you got to be willing to do something, put the time, effort, and energy in there as well. But I definitely have to get on something next year. I'm really hoping I can do it. Maybe take some classes in the winter time during the off season as well, where I have more time. I'll be inside a lot more, so I get off of work. I'll be home before 5:30, something for an hour and a half to 2 hours before streams and stuff. Surprised these guys are still pretty much nowhere near lap traffic yet. It's already lap 47. And this is a 400-mile race at Darlington. Carolina Dodge dealer 400. Starting to slip back a little bit behind the 48 and the 12. Newman is there. Underneath Johnson. Johnson bounces off the wall just a tiny bit. Accidentally crowded Newman also with that contact. Yeah, for sure. Yesterday was a big day for that as well, R6. trying to find a way back around Ryan Newman again. It's all over him off turn 4. Lap 50 now. At the line. Both Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, a couple drivers without wins so far this year. DB Forever 85, welcome to the stream. I know, that was awesome too. That's the most we've had for a Cup Series commentating live stream so far, like over the real races. Almost beat our record for our stream record. I think we got up to like 51 people watching yesterday, maybe 54 or something like that. I know our record's 64. That was for the truck race at Dirt Bristol. But yeah, that was pretty awesome to see. Ooh, boy. That was a moment there off turn 4. A lot of tire smoke out of the rear tires as well. Jeff Gordon's really starting to lose the top 2. Newman pulled about a half a second on Johnson that last lap because of how loose Jimmy got off turn 4. Tell you what, lap traffic's going to be treacherous if these guys get to it at all today. We just cannot pull away from Ryan Newman when he gets around him. These two are equally fast. That's why they qualified second and third as well. You got to know that they have speed. Yeah, I know, that's awesome. Between that and that Talladega video from Logano's accident that I posted as well, I think that's one thing I didn't do with Dover. I didn't post anything throughout the course of the race, but I didn't really catch anything too interesting on camera outside of the finish. I could maybe upload that at some point. Just every time I took a video, like during the green flag run, a caution came out, but I missed the caution on camera. Like I missed the actual incident happening. Versus Talladega, I caught a couple of them on camera. I have a lot better quality, by the way. I got that nice camera today, so I don't have to use my phone when I'm at the racetrack anymore, so that'll be cool for Charlotte and all the things I plan on doing down there in those 3 days I'm gone. Left front's starting to really wear out now on Jimmy's race car. Big run off turn 4. Lead change at the line as he beats Ryan Newman. Newman trying to side draft and really pinch Johnson down into turns 1 and 2. Jimmy slides, and Newman really pinched him. I mean, he held Jimmy below that hashed white line in turns 1 and 2. Johnson got loose down there, and he had to check up or he was going to run into the side of Newman. He's still loose off turn 2. Still trying to catch that race car. Gordon's really lost touch of these guys. Riggs has by far lost touch a while back. Really after about the first dozen laps. Another run off turn 2 for Johnson. He'll try again this lap into 3 and 4. Gonna try the slide job. Committed this time and easily clears Ryan Newman in the center of 3 and 4. Lap 58, another lead change after Newman led for about 7 laps there. Johnson back out in front again. Still the opening run of the race. Oh, for sure, yeah. I don't record every lap of the race. I mean, I just, honestly, Talladega, that was the most I recorded during a race. I probably recorded for, I'm trying to think. I usually try to get like a couple laps during the green flag run randomly. And then just to get like the pure racing in, and then usually at the end of the stage, the last 2 or 3 laps. And then every restart. Or almost every restart, at least. Especially if they're later in the race. Usually what I try to record. So if there's more cautions, there's usually going to be more clips of the videos because there's more restarts. But I mean, Dover, I think there were only 3 cautions for incident. In Talladega, there wasn't a lot either, I guess. I think there were only like 5 for incident the whole race. No big one. A lot of drivers have been hitting pit road over the last 2 or 3 laps. Ryan Newman came into the pits. Jimmy Johnson, he's staying out a lot longer. He'll take these laps led and try to take this fuel tank as long as he can. You never know if we're going to get a caution in the middle of green flag stops, but he's going to be losing a lot of time on this racetrack. We saw in the actual Cup race. I know this is 2021 versus 2004, but I mean, it was about 2 seconds a lap difference. This is an older surface here in this 2004 season as well. So Johnson is likely going to lose the lead to Ryan Newman, assuming Newman had even a decent pit stop. Whenever Johnson decides to come in, he said he was very low on fuel so far. Both the front tires are in the yellow. The rear tires are actually not as bad. Especially with the Coke 600 being a long race, too. There's a good chance I can get a lot of videos in there. I'm excited to test out that new camera for sure. I've been to Charlotte before, but it was for the Roval back in 2019, so I haven't been there for the oval race. So, out of technicality, it'll be a new track on the schedule. Same facility, but new track. That's why I wanted to make sure I got back from the 600. Now Johnson's extremely low on fuel. Leads another lap there. He'll probably try to take it to lap 65 before pitting. Still in the cycling of green flag stops. Still no caution so far today. Johnson going to stay out. Lap 65 at the line. Jimmy's going to pit this time by. It'll be a 4-tire pit stop. Maybe going to make a slight adjustment to the race car, but nothing too extreme. Got to make sure he gets to pit road. That's the big thing here. Very tight pit road. He doesn't want to miss it here. 70 miles per hour is the speed limit on every racetrack in this game, so that's nice and easy to get the car back down. And here we go. Half a round of wedge going to be put into the car to help tighten it up. That is the only adjustment for Jimmy Johnson in this 48 team. And again, 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. There was no lap traffic before our first pit stop of the race today, and this is at a 1 1/3 mile racetrack, which is insane. Nice, quick, easy pit stop. No mistakes on the 48 team. And Ryan Newman easily cycles to the lead. We expected Newman to get to the lead. He pitted about 5 laps before Jimmy Johnson at lap 60. Johnson pitted at lap 65. And Johnson was literally only a couple tenths ahead of Ryan Newman at the time of him pitting. Newman is going to have about a little less than a 2.5 second lead. But Ryan Newman has just caught the back of the lap traffic. Ricky Craven's the only driver lap down early on. I believe all 43 cars are still on the racetrack. Again, cycled through our first pit stops of the day. Yeah, I don't know why you can't do that in NASCAR heat games. I wish you could. Be more realistic when I have those tire limit rules. I hope that that's a thing in the next NASCAR game, because that'd be really cool to try and pick strategy. I hope the AI has that ability too. How many tires you could take, just like in real NASCAR. Johnson gained a ton that opening lap after coming out of the pits. Newman was nearly 3 wide with some lap traffic through 1 and 2 that time as well, and that lead's already dwindled down to a second. And lap traffic, again, is going to be huge here today at Darlington. It's going to be tough to get around. Jimmy got around Ricky Craven pretty well, but Each lap car you catch is only going to be a little bit faster than the one prior. So in lap traffic again for the first time here tonight. Johnson has not hit the wall, on the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 he got into it once. So he earned his Darlington stripe on that end of the track. That's been about it, and that lead is cut down to about 3 or 4 car lengths now off turn 4. Fresh tires, now is the time to get around as many lap cars as possible and maybe get back to the lead on Ryan Newman as well. Huge run through turns 1 and 2 for the 48 behind the 12. Gordon pitted at the same time as Newman, but he didn't gain as much time. Newman just had a very fast stop. Ooh. Newman just about got into lap car Terry Labonte, and as soon as he pulls up in front of Labonte, Johnson gets to the inside into 1 and 2 to take the lead from Newman. Didn't even really use the lap car as a pick there. He just muscled his way right around Ryan. Both these two were Rookie of the Year candidates just a few years prior in the 2002 season. Guy kind of lightly scrapes the wall down the back straightaway. Second time he's done that today, too. DJI on YouTube, welcome to the stream. No, this is NASCAR 05. Again, it's in the title, guys. Yeah, it's in the title of the stream. NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Oh, because you were just playing 07 on your tablet. Nice. Yep, this is our NASCAR 05 season playthrough. Johnson underneath of the 22 of Scott Wimmer, rookie. Underneath the 122 car as well, trying to get around this lap traffic. A lot easier on fresh tires as we get deeper and deeper into the run. It'll only get a little bit harder, perhaps. Man, lost a lot of ground into 1 and 2. Maybe took it a little too easy. Johnson got really loose off turn 2. He's trying to pinch Newman behind the lap car of Scott Wimmer. Hangs on to that race car and gets back around Wimmer through 3 and 4. Terry Labonte now gets back underneath the 12 of Newman, with him being tucked in line behind Scott Wimmer. And Labonte, you remember, teammates in that 5 car with Jimmy Johnson. He ran as Labonte in that 2004 season. You guys voted for Johnson in this 2005 playthrough. The 04 playthrough, you voted for Terry Labonte. I'm glad you guys did. Labonte's got some cool paint schemes. Always like that Tony the Tiger paint scheme. Loved his Got Milk paint scheme as well. Got to run both of those. A Looney Tunes paint scheme as well. A Mini Wheats paint scheme as well. A lot of good ones in that game. Johnson only has Lowe's as a primary sponsor in this game. He does have a couple different renderings of Lowe's, and I meant to use one of those different renderings in this one. We'll adjust that going forward throughout the season. Again, we're only 5 races in. I think he's got 4 different paint schemes, 3 or 4 on this game. I did unlock them all. I wanted to make sure I did that as soon as we started the first couple races in, knowing we were going to use Jimmy. One thing I always love with these older EA games is those chase plates too. You had to literally play to unlock the games and not buy it online on a DLC. I always love that about the EA games. I hope there's something similar to that in the next NASCAR game as well. Just like you have to, earn points throughout the course of a race, like skill points, kind of like you do in this, to unlock certain paint schemes and fantasy drivers and stuff. It would be pretty cool. Certain racetracks, fantasy tracks. This moment off turn 2, stayed in the gas though. Not sure why Lowe's didn't do it anymore. I think a lot of it has to do with the new CEO. So I actually worked at Lowe's for a couple years just out of high school, 2018, 2019, right in the middle of when they did not want to sponsor Jimmy Johnson anymore after the 2018 season. And they didn't re-sign on with him. Ally came aboard, and at the time, Lowe's had gotten a new CEO in the summer of 2018, and I wonder if he had a lot to do with it, with not wanting to be on NASCAR, because he wasn't more of one of those conservative guys. Like he had raised the price on like a lot of like our merchandise, but merchandise within the store, not Johnson merchandise, but stuff that you could buy at Lowe's, and a lot of it, the average price went up. And I just wonder if like he didn't feel like spending the money on in the sport of NASCAR was worth advertisement and stuff. And they really cut back on their advertisements overall too. They want to spend as much. He was cutting positions away, including one of my positions, why I'm not working there anymore, or at least why I left at the time. I didn't see myself working there too much longer anyway, but I went out the door maybe a lot quicker than what I would have thought would have been. I'm a Home Depot guy now. Funny how things work out like that. I should say I work at a Home Depot. I worked at an actual Lowe's store though. Home Depot, I just work at the distribution center. It's a lot different. You don't have to deal with customers or anything like that. And this is tough lap traffic right now. This 122 car has been very difficult for Jimmy Johnson to try and get around. Just can't get under him. Ryan Newman hasn't made that pass for the lead yet. He's been right there. Lap traffic making it all harder for everybody, that's for sure. Gotta be careful with these guys at the back as well. Newman gains a little bit of ground through 3 and 4. Johnson again cannot get underneath that 122 car. Where will Ryan Newman maybe make the move? Johnson's got a teammate of Brian Vickers just up ahead. Kyle Petty slid a little wide. Now he gets underneath the 122, off turn 2, into 3 and 4. Beats Kyle Petty down to the bottom. There we go. Now he's finally starting to get around these lap cars that were right in front of him. Now he's side by side with teammate Brian Vickers down the front straightaway. Oh, Vickers blowing up right in front of the race leaders. Tries to pull down to the apron as quickly as he can. Johnson checked up. He did make a little bit of contact with Vickers, but not much. Bad timing for Vickers to blow an engine right in front of both Johnson and Newman. He is up in smoke trying to get that car to pit road as we stay green here at Darlington. Yeah, I've never heard of Ally Bank until sponsored Jimmy as well. I wonder if it's like a newer bank, just because I've never heard of it. Never really saw advertisements for it way in the past. Vickers was able to get to pit road again. We do stay green. I believe he's the first driver to DNF today, so tough break for the rookie Vickers, who's had a pretty decent start to the year, along with rookie Casey Kane. Johnson slides into the wall. Second time he's gotten into the wall in 3 and 4 today. Michael Turner, welcome on in. Oh, I definitely haven't forgotten that I can DNF. We've never done it on this game. I'm surprised we haven't, but it is possible. We haven't gotten in that many accidents, too. Compared to Thunder 04, it seemed like every couple races we were getting in an accident there. That's why we never won a championship in the 2 seasons we played there. Man, Johnson slapped the wall off 4. These tires are starting to go away, even just about 20 to 25 laps into the run. Early 2010s. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I guess it's somewhat newer, but I thought it would have been much newer than that. Hey, they're in the sport of NASCAR. I commend them. Second time Johnson's gotten into the wall there in 3 and 4 in the last couple laps. Couldn't get off of it. Ryan Newman gets back to the lead. That's an easy pass for Newman. He didn't have to do any work there other than stay within range behind the 48. Right there again. Looks low. Off turn 2. 3 wide. Newman in the middle. Lap car up on the outside. Luckily, they were not 3 wide by the time they got into turns 3 and 4. Lap car tried to stay out of the way and let the leaders go. Johnson gets him back after Newman led 1 lap in that exchange. Jimmy gets right back out in front again. Puts the 141 a lap down now. Newman stuck behind the 141 car. Billet S, welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's no Ally Bank anywhere. There might be one in Toledo somewhere, but that's still 35 minutes plus away, wherever part it is. I know there's one in Detroit near Comerica Park. I didn't know that until, you know, I don't know, probably... Comerica Park, by the way, is where the Detroit Tigers play baseball, but it's like a couple blocks away from it. It's like right next to one of the Comerica banks there, which is coincidental considering that it's Comerica Park. They sponsored Tiger Stadium. Front row Joe Nemechek right in front of us. Still kicking in her NASCAR Heat 5 video games in the truck in the Xfinity Series. Backmarker teams. Cell phone backmarker teams. Train of lap cars right in front of these leaders. A couple of the Chip Ganassi cars, Sterling Marlin, Casey Mears. Mears was a rookie in 04. Well, I should say our 2003 season, not our 2004 season. So NASCAR Thunder 2004, he was a rookie, but not a rookie here. And chase for the Cup 05. Got back in the gas a little too soon. That time he recognized it instead of letting it slide into the wall again. He's only hit the wall 3 times in turns 3 and 4 the whole race and hasn't hit it at all in 1 and 2. And we're 95 laps in. Again, that's very impressive considering this game, how hard it is to drive these cars too. Getting a little contact from race leader Jimmy Johnson. Little Congo line checkup right there. Dale Jarrett is about to go lap down as well. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is my favorite NASCAR game of all time. For sure. I'm having so much fun just playing this right now. Glad we're doing this playthrough. Had a lot of fun with Thunder 04, but this one takes the cake for me. Mainly because I played this one the most when I was a kid. So many different game modes you can do. Offline as well. Johnson, a little contact with the 184. Gets around him off turn 2. He's kind of fighting for the same spot on the racetrack. Again, and that time they make that significant contact, enough obviously to knock the 184 out of the way. Johnson slides the tires again into 1 and 2. Newman is there. He couldn't quite get to the lead through all that though. Yeah, I was like that Thunder 04 as well. That was a rule in NASCAR until the middle of the 2003 season. Then they stopped racing back to the line. I'm surprised it took them until that long to stop doing that, honestly. As dangerous as that was. Wow, pole sitter Mark Martin is in danger of going a lap down too. He is just really faded. By a nose, he did not lead lap 1 to Jimmy Johnson as well. Lap 100. Johnson pitted at lap 65, so he could probably go to about lap 130. Sorry, lap 65 is when he pitted. A lot of other drivers pitted a few laps before he did. Trying to get around Sterling Marlin in the 40. 10-time career winner in the Cup Series is Marlin. His last coming in 2002. It's the 2004 season. Johnson's still underneath Marlin through 3 and 4. Gets underneath his teammate Casey Mears as well, who is barely outrunning Marlin. Dale Jarrett looking to make a pass on Mark Martin in the 6. So Johnson's going to follow Martin through there, and Jimmy slowly pulling away now from the 12 of Ryan Newman. Dale Jarrett trying to block and hold on to the lead lap. Johnson slides the tires, and then Ryan Newman's going to get right back underneath him. Off turn 4, Casey Mears gets in the left rear of Johnson, kind of stacking everybody up behind him. It's checked up second place Ryan Newman just a tad bit. Thought Newman was able to at least escape to the inside still. Yes, Ricky Rudd is still in the 21 car in this game. Ten likes so far, 10 current viewers watching this race. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Goals 25 by the end of this one. Still just shy of the halfway mark, and we're almost halfway there, so it's doable. Johnson gets back around Mark Martin again. Again, Martin, the first car lap down, so he's in that lucky dog position. Dale Jarrett, last car in the lead lap in the 88. Robert Yates Racing. Newman's gained a couple tenths of a second over the last few laps. He's back to about 8 tenths of a second, almost 7 tenths off the lead. Jimmy getting some extra laps led in right now. Newman pitted 5 laps before Johnson last time. If he does it again this time, probably pit about 10 laps before him. Probably be seeing some green flag stops over a wider range this time around if we do go green long enough. Probably lap 120 to 130 is when most of those pit stops are going to take place. Johnson was one of the last cars to hit pit road. It cost him the lead for about 7 or 8 laps before getting back to Ryan Newman, because Newman pitted 5 laps before him. Pits 10 laps before him this time. So have to wait and see as well. And now Dale Jarrett is blowing an engine right in front of the race leader. Similar to Brian Vickers earlier, Jarrett easily pulls to the bottom of the track. There was less traffic around the 88 of Jarrett. I'll tell you what, he's hauling with that smoke blowing out of the rear of the race car. Tough break for Jarrett. He was doing a good job holding on to the lead lap. And a good job no longer will be the case, and Jarrett's going to get down to pit road. Lap 110 at the line, and again we stay green. No caution so far today at Darlington. Watching the Cardinals White Sox game right now. There you go. I think there's a group of about 6 lap cars clumped together. Still a couple seconds ahead of where Johnson's at. Ryan Newman's really starting to gain that ground. He's only half a second off the lead. Feels like Johnson's car's driven a lot better in the second tire stint of the race than the first one. Put that half around a wedge in. Not sure if they're going to make any adjustments during the second pit stop today. Ran a little wide getting into the corner for arcing it off. It cost them another half a tenth maybe on Newman. I think that's Jeff Gordon who's caught back up to Newman as well, looking to make a pass on him for second, so they battled. We're closing on Jimmy, and now they're not closing as much anymore, and I think it's because they're racing each other so hard, maybe using their stuff up a little more than what Johnson's using his up. But you're just naturally going to use your car up at this racetrack. You're fighting the track more than you're fighting anybody else for position, really. Again, I know it's 2021 and this is 2004, but again, just look at how hard they were struggling for grip around that racetrack earlier this season. How much we're probably going to see the same thing happening again later this year. Both day races as well. There we go, up to 12 legs. See, we're halfway home. Likely going to be a 4 pit stop race today total. And I likely think it might be 5 stops, but I'm pretty sure these guys can make it on 4. Third stop would be at about lap 195. Another 65 laps from that would be about 260. Yeah, it's going to be a 4-stop race total. 3 to the end from now. Got a quarter of a tank of fuel left for Jimmy Johnson. Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon right there. It's now not a 2-car battle, but this time it's a 3-car battle for the lead, kind of like we saw in those first 30 laps. A little ways to go. Johnson really gaps those guys off turn 2 quite a bit. Going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Over the next 8 laps. Might likely lead into green flag pit stops. And ideally, Johnson would like to go to lap 130. Be seeing Newman and Gordon coming into the pits earlier. Wow, Newman's pitting even earlier than what he did last time. Both those front tires in the yellow. Jeff Gordon stays out an extra lap. He pitted the same time as Newman the last time they came into the pits. Newman was about 3 to 4 tenths of a second behind Johnson before those pit stops started. Riding on that front bumper cam right now. Glued to this racetrack. Slides up the racetrack a little bit, had to catch it. Jeff Gordon comes into pit road at lap 118. Johnson trying to take this fuel run as far as he can once again. Newman and Gordon likely going to cycle the lead. Newman pitted a lap before Gordon. I think that might be the difference in Newman being able to stay out in front of Jeff. Almost halfway home as well. Very low on fuel. Closing in on Robbie Gordon, who hasn't yet hit the pits in front of him. 31 Singular Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. Tough pit road to get onto. Johnson did a great job getting onto pit road the first time during green flag stops earlier. We'll see if he can do that again, of course. All 4 tires now in the yellow. Only the 2 front tires were in the yellow during that first run. Handling has been a lot better again throughout the course of this run than earlier. And a lot of it is the more laps you get into the race too, the more comfortable you may be feeling with your race guards when you start to get later in the race, when you're really starting to fight the conditions maybe a bit worse. Ooh, contact between Elliott Sadler and Ricky Craven. A couple of the lap cars just up ahead. Just lightly tagged. Lightly tapped that wall through 3 and 4. They'll be pitting for fresh tires here very soon, though. They'll only have to pit 2 more times after that the rest of the race. Then he likely wants to get to lap 130 before pitting. So he can make a 265 lap run so far. He's hoping he makes the next run 65 laps as well if it continues to stay green here tonight at Darlington, and then maybe split that final run in half to the end. Is the current strategy. Obviously, again, if a caution comes out, that's going to change everything, but so far, that's seeming like how things are going to be played out. Let's have to check up so much more in turns 3 and 4, especially at the very end of this run. Well, there it is, lap 130, so Jimmy Johnson will pit this time by at the start-finish line. Sits behind Ricky Craven. He's not going to look to pass him at all. Off turn 2 and down the back straightaway as Johnson's going to pull to the inside of the racetrack. Nobody behind him. Easily is able to do it. Ooh, slides a little bit. Maybe carried the corner a tad bit too deep. 70 miles per hour is that pit road speed limit. Easily gets down in time. No adjustments on pit road this time for the 48 of Johnson. Car feels pretty good. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel for the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Let another lap there to the line as well. Hopefully another clean stop for this 48 team like they had during the first stop of the race. They go putting random amounts of wedge in our car. Why do they do that at these EA games? They did that with Thunder 04 too. We didn't call for the wedge adjustment. Another nice, quick, fast pit stop. The 48 of Johnson trying to get up to speed. Ryan Newman's going to take the lead again. Jeff Gordon the second. Woo! Johnson trying to get back up to speed, slid a little bit. I believe Greg Biffle. No, Biffle's not a spot. Biffle wall trip. Both a lap down. Robbie Gordon. And he came out about 2.3 seconds behind Newman the first time. He came out 1.3 behind him that time. There were a lot more lap cars between him and Newman. Plus, Jeff Gordon has gained a lot of time here in the middle portion of the race. Luke Jarvis 07, welcome to the stream. I thoroughly enjoyed the race yesterday, honestly, for all that it was worth. It wasn't really, there were 2 hard accidents, but it wasn't a wreck fest by any means, even with the rainy conditions. They only had 3 cautions per incident the entire day, and the Suarez incident wasn't even like an incident. I mean, he just stalled on the racetrack because he got that shifter stuck in neutral. Oh, wow, daring move, 3 wide at Darlington. First time we've seen that in the middle of a corner today. Schneider blows past the lap cars of Greg Biffle. I believe that was maybe the 144, 174. Newman going to use a pick, Ward Burton in the 0 to hold up Jeff Gordon in the 24. Gordon's going to go down low to maybe block Johnson, and Gordon still has not led a lap, so he's looking for 5 bonus points here. Hasn't been able to get around Newman either. Johnson low off turn 2, gets to the inside of Jeff Gordon for second. Has a run down to the inside of Newman, side drafts him off into turn 3. Slide job, Johnson to the lead here at Darlington. And Gordon follows his Hendrick teammate Jimmy Johnson on the inside of Newman for second off turn 4 as well. Johnson back out in front at lap 135. Took him a lot less laps to get to the lead as well than it did after green flag stops the last time. The reason he keeps getting beat out by these guys is because they're pitting a little bit before him. They pitted about 13 laps before him that time. It was only 5 laps to stop before that, so likely to be even longer. Maybe closer to that 20-lap range, 15 to 20-lap range during the next green flag stops. But ideally, Johnson shouldn't have to pit again until about lap 195, just less than 100 to go, is probably the next scheduled pit stop. And again, it's still a 2-stop race to the finish, and again, we're still caution-free as well. Very close to halfway. Very, very close. 10 laps away from halfway to be exact. 9 of 10, of course. It's an odd number of laps for what it's worth. Gordon's really pressuring that 48 car. He wants to get to that lead bad again. He hasn't led a single lap all day long. He wants to get 5 bonus points. What is your point system there, Michael? Probably stated in the chat a while ago. I can't remember what it might have been. Still led the most laps up to this point. Newman's led quite a few. Riggs led a couple at the very beginning. Still the only 3 different leaders so far, despite there being quite a few lead changes specifically between the 12 and the 48. And this is peak Ryan Newman as well. Beginning of his career for Penske. Tore off an 8-win season back in 2003. Old Winston Cup points format. A lot of people's favorite. I feel like it should be a combination between the two. The problem with the Winston Cup points format is that there were different points increments. Like, it was 5 points per position towards the front, but then it was like 4 the further you got towards the back, and then it was 3 points per position for like. So there were a lot of different increments. I felt like it was harder to try and, gauge if you're watching live. I like now how it's 1 point per position, so that's why I mean, a combination between the two. If you're going to do a season-long format, I feel like you should have equally 5 points per position or equally 1 point per position. It'd be a lot easier math for people to do in their heads throughout the course of the race for fans watching at home. Be a lot easier to follow along. If you want to do bonus points again too, do the same thing. Maybe 5 and 10, or 1, kind of like how they did for a little bit there, the early 2010s when it was. I think it was 2000. Wasn't it 2011 when they went to the 1 point per position? And then it was 1 point for leading the lap, and then another bonus point for leading the most. Like, if it's something like that, it's pretty cool. I'd rather see it like that than like how the Winston Cup was when it was 5 and so many positions back. I think it was 7th back was like 4, but then I can't remember where it started to be 3 points per position exactly. It's just a little bit harder to follow, I feel like, for most fans throughout the course of the race. I know the technology and TV would do it for you, but still. Scott Riggs going a lap down. Again, good thing he led earlier. Ricky Rudd, the 21 for the Wood Brothers. Talked about him a brief moment there earlier. He's won at Darlington in his Cup career. He's trying to stay on the lead lap here. He's about to go a lap down. There's a big gap, though, between Rudd and the next lap car. If we were to get a caution and Rudd goes a lap down, that Ricky would be in the free pass position. Ricky Rudd, known as being one of the more harder drivers to race. And Jimmy can't get around him right now, and Gordon might end up taking his first lead of the race here before long. The way Rudd's been blocking. Rudd goes a little high off turn 4. Johnson has a run on him. And they're side by side now down the front straightaway. Oh, a little contact. Ricky about got hooked. Getting into 1 and 2. Now here comes Gordon on the top. Side by side. Down the back straightaway. Can Gordon get to the lead for the first time this time? Johnson drives it deep into 3 and 4. Slides up in front of him. And stays pinned to the bottom as well. And the center off to keep Gordon back there. Yeah, the Winston Cup format, it is 5 bonus points. Same thing with this chase format. 5 bonus points for leading the lap and 10 for leading the most. That's why it's important that we try to lead the most laps, as many as we can. We want to try to hold a guy like Jeff Gordon, who could be a championship contender as the season carries on, from getting any sort of bonus points as well, even though he's a teammate. That little bounce off the walls. They were side by side by a nose. Gordon leads the lap at the line. A little contact between the 48 and 24, but that's because Johnson got in the wall off turn 4. By the time he got off of it and drove off of it, he kind of got into his teammate a tiny bit. But Jeff Gordon is out in front for the first time today at Darlington, scoring himself, again, 5 bonus points. Contact now between Ricky Rudd and Johnson further back. It's allowing Ryan Newman to maybe close the gap a tiny bit more once again. Under 50 laps complete now at the line. Slides high off turn 4. Johnson slingshots to the bottom. Lead change. Johnson back in front after Gordon leads for about 3 laps. Gordon trying to side draft him down the front stretch into 1. Look at how low he pins Johnson down in the center of the corner. gets the drive on the top. Jimmy gets the drive on the bottom. Almost make contact off turn 2. These two teammates are going hard for the lead right now. Gordon gets pinned on the 20, or on the 48. The 24 got pinned on the 48. My bad. Another tiny bit of contact, and Johnson holds on out in front. Gotta be careful. Again, these guys are teammates. Last thing Rick Hendrick wants to see is 2 more of his cars getting out of this race. Bonnie's already a lap down. Remember, Vickers blew an engine earlier. Well, he was on the lead lap. Comment in the chat below, do you think there's going to be a caution tonight? This would be one of the least likely tracks to go caution-free, you would think, but so far these guys have done a great job. We're just past halfway. We've already had 2 sets of pit stops, 2 more still to come. Still seeing a lot of great racing action towards the front of the field. Johnson really gapped Gordon quite a bit off turn 2. Set up the truck maybe a little, or track, excuse me, a little too much in 3 and 4. And Gordon gains whatever time he lost on the other end right back quickly. Billy thinks there's going to be a caution coming up at some point for the end of this race. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt the strategy too much, at least for these 2 Hendrick Chevrolets at the front. It'd be nice if these guys could finish 1-2. That's ideally what they would like. Johnson's got 1 win this season, came at Rockingham in a fuel mileage race. And Gordon has not won yet this season at all. Trevor Grimes, welcome to the stream. I think if this was the Southern 500, we'd still have quite a ways yet to go in this race. It'd be 367 laps instead of 293, but it's only 400 miles. Johnson gaps Gordon off turn 2. It'll be interesting to see if Jeff will get you back into 3 and 4 again. Jimmy held it down on the bottom a lot better there, but Gordon just seems a tiny bit better in 3 and 4, and Johnson seems better in 1 and 2. By that time, Gordon wasn't really able to gain. Still about 0.3 of a second off the lead into 1 and 2. Ricky Craven, next lap car up ahead. He's already 1 lap down, so he's about to be the first driver 2 laps down of the drivers still on the track. Again, Dale Jarrett and Brian Vickers, the only 2 to blow an engine that we know of at least so far. Wide through 3 and 4 again. Jeff Gordon gains quite a bit of ground. At least Gordon's already led 5 laps. Interesting to see how much pressure he's going to put on the 48 now. Knowing Jimmy has led a lot more laps than Jeff in this race, you'd have to assume. I mean, you never want to lay back as a driver if you can help it. Now that we're in the second half of this race, you never know if you're going to be able to get back to the lead. We got 2 pit stops left. Maybe the pit stops aren't going to play out in Gordon's favor going forward. Stake down the straightaway for Johnson. That's the 3rd time I think we've gotten into the wall on the straightaway for whatever reason. Just running a tad too close to it, that's all. Just comes off a little bit of that straightaway speed, but it doesn't really hurt the car too much. And gosh darn it, did it again. Did it 4 times. We just did it like back-to-back straightaways right there. Gordon took a little extra time trying to get around Ricky Craven compared to Johnson. Johnson kind of blew right around him as soon as he got to him. Any mistakes slowed down the straightaway, allowing Gordon to keep within that 2 to 3 car length lead. And Jimmy's got on him, and Ryan Newman's really lost the 48 and the 24. If they start to battle or lap traffic becomes heavy again, kind of like it was when Newman and Johnson were battling during the last tire stint, and Gordon was slowly catching him, Newman will likely slowly catch the 24 and the 48 again. Johnson could go to about lap 195 before having to pit. Another 30 laps. Guaranteed Gordon's coming down before that again, as well as Newman. Gordon's got to make sure he at least cycles up to second during this pit stop. He hasn't been able to do that yet. 12 of the 48 team have been much faster on pit road, though Gordon was able to cycle ahead of Jimmy the last time. He just couldn't cycle to the lead in front of Newman and get that clean track position. As far away from the lap traffic as we've seen over a longer period of time since the very beginning of the race. A lot more open room to run and really get to see what the 48 and the 24 have against one another. I have to assume with them both being Hendrick Chevrolets that they have pretty equal race cars. So who's going to be better? Is it going to be the young Jimmy Johnson, who does not have a championship yet, or is it going to be the 4-time champ up to this point in his career, Jeff Gordon? Johnson's protege, of course, as well. Another lap car coming up into the picture very soon. We'll see if Gordon can get close to Johnson, maybe use that lap car as a pick. Doug Ferguson, one of the fantasy drivers, is the next lap car. The 140. Better get around the 147 quickly when he gets to that back bumper. But Gordon got a little tight, had to lift a little extra off turn 2. Johnson gaps him a little bit, now gets to the inside of the 147 into 3 and 4. Quickly he's going to get around him, so Gordon's just going to have to follow behind the 147, but he got tight off turn 4 again, and he got stuck behind the 147 car, and that's going to cost Gordon a little bit more time. Now into the corner where Johnson's a little bit better, and Gordon's still side by side now at the 147. Clears him. Lap car almost ended up in the wall. Tiny boy, welcome to the stream. Played 9 holes today. Nice, Billy. Yeah, I played 18 last few days, and I gotta say, I'm on a cold streak the last 4 rounds I've played. Johnson slides up the track. He's gonna let go. He tried to let Gordon go. A little contact, but ultimately he does give Gordon the lead. Gordon got underneath him. He tried to let him go and keep it off the wall, keep from wrecking the 2 cars, and he still got into him somehow, but hangs on to it. Nevertheless, oh, he's got a good drive off turn 4, back to the inside of the 24 again. Donut on the left rear of the 24 as well. Oh, what a crossover by Jeff. Oh, what a move by Gordon. Through 1 and 2. Jimmy had to give him that run. Johnson slid up going into the corner in turn 1 in front of Gordon. And when he slid up the racetrack, Gordon got back underneath him off the exit and cleared him off turn 2. What a move. For the 4-time champion, the Nextel Cup Series, Jeff Gordon. One of the all-time greats, of course. 2 of the all-time greats going at it for the lead. DNFs are on as well. As always. Johnson again to the inside of Gordon. Going to try to make that same move into 1 and 2. We'll see if Gordon maybe tries it again. Oh, man. Jeff just drove it in so deep on that outside groove. Johnson stays underneath him, though. He never allowed Gordon to stay clear. Tighter corner this time into 3 and 4. Not somewhere you want to be side by side. They are, and Johnson completes the pass cleanly. Great clean battle between the 24 and the 48 for Hendrick Motorsports. Stopped raining Wednesday, week 4 match. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, get that practice in beforehand, always helps. Yeah, I played for Skin Sunday morning, and I played probably the worst round I played in a very long time. It's probably been 2 or 3 years since I shot above 90, especially on that course, and that was just so bad. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I am so much better than this. Why is this happening? I started off the round really good, and it just like after 4 holes, it just took a huge left turn. It was bad. They did a last lap at Darlington in Heat 4 by 2 seconds. Larson passed. Oh, jeez. Got the 6th. Yeah, we definitely know we can get a close finish here in this one. 2 Hendrick teammates dominating this race currently in the second half. Johnson hasn't clinched the most laps led yet, but he's led a lot. 3 lap cars right in front of Jeff Gordon that are all already 1 lap down. Starts with Scott Wimmer. Johnson to the inside of Gordon, trying to use those lap cars as a pick into turn 1. Gordon's got nowhere to go as he's tucked in line behind the 22 of Scott Wimmer. Johnson clears Wimmer off turn 2, and that helped him big time. Still 2 more lap cars, though, in front of Jimmy. He'd like to get around him. Gordon has to finally get underneath the 22. And we'll see if Gordon might use the lap cars as a pick now as well. So much faster than these guys. Jimmy makes a slight mistake. Lap 180. We got some green flag pit stops going on for the 3rd time already today. Lap car. Joe Nemechek just coming out of the pit lane. On the inside. Johnson lets him go. Oh, wow, Jimmy got loose trying to let Nemechek go. Slides up the track. Barely clips Gordon as Gordon tries to drive off with the lead. Johnson still trying to catch his race car, and Jeff Gordon's out in front here at Darlington once again. Yeah, I did. We were doing a live commentary of the race yesterday on the channel. Broadcasted the entire race. And this 48 car is really getting loose at the very end of this run. That's what gave Gordon the lead. He just kind of lost control going into 3. Nemechek's still holding up Gordon. Of course, Nemechek's on fresher tires, though, too, so that definitely helps him. And Gordon coming into the pits right now. About a half a second lead at the time of him pitting. Johnson's going to get back out in front. He's going to continue to try and lead more laps. Johnson doesn't have to pit till lap 195, roughly, before coming onto pit road, so he should lead the next 17 Sorry, next 12, 13 laps roughly. Kurt Busch just coming out of the pit lane. Johnson gets around him. There goes lap car Kyle Petty onto pit road. Yeah, and also I never miss any of the Cup races, for sure. Trying to make it a must-watch every race. Chase Elliott got his first win of the season also. How fitting it comes on a road course. Elliott's specialty. Compared to any other style of racetrack. So there we go. So Jimmy Johnson has just clinched the most laps led at the line that time. Just over 100 laps still to go. There's a slide into the wall in 3 and 4, and now he can't get off of it. Still can't get off of it. My goodness, Casey Mears, Kurt Busch get one of their laps back. Two pit stop race to the end. Johnson's not going anywhere. He's already clinched the most laps led. He's going to come to pit road a little earlier than lap 195. He was really struggling with the handling of that race car late in the run and easily gets to pit road. No adjustments, just going to take those 4 fresh tires for now. If it starts to get loose at the end of the next run, he'll make adjustments for the final pit stop of the race when the time comes. This is the second to last pit stop. He has been one of the last drivers to pit for the most part today, but again, currently not the case. Two clean, fast stops already for the 48 of Johnson. Hopefully they get another quick one here. Gordon still pitted a few laps before him, about 6 laps before him this time. Jimmy got in the wall there in turns 3 and 4 as well. Still hasn't hit the wall in 1 and 2 at all today. 3 and 4 about 5 or 6 times. And Bobby Labonte's now going to lead laps for the first time today. So he'll get 5 bonus points through the cycling and pit stops. There goes Jeff Gordon to the lead as we expected, pitting earlier. Good thing Johnson pitted when he did. Otherwise he would have came out much further behind Jeff Gordon. And Bobby Labonte is currently on pit road. And Joe Gibbs Racing Chevrolet. Hard not to say Toyota, but this is Chevy in this time period for Joe Gibbs Racing. So Johnson trying to haul it. Get back to Gordon as soon as he can. Goals 25 likes before the start of the race. Had about 8 to 10 people watching for most of this race, and thanks for everybody sticking around for this one. One more pit stop still to go to the end. It's been a great battle so far in the second half between Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. First half was more Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson. Newman's kind of faded. Scott Riggs led a couple laps at the very beginning as well. Got those fresh Goodyears. This is the best time to try and make that pass on Johnson. On Gordon. His tires aren't sliding as much. They slid there because he overdrove the corner down onto the apron. Really Diamond cut the corner off beautifully that time through 3 and 4. Beats Gordon by a bumper to the start-finish line. Hasn't cleared him yet, though, into 1 and 2. Gordon's hanging on strong. Wow, Jimmy barely clears him. That was a close call there. Johnson out in front of the 24. Gordon trying to fight back, though, through turns 3 and 4. And he gets back around the 48 cleanly. Ooh! Tiny bit of contact. Gordon's left rear. Jimmy gets back around him for 3 and 4. Intensity maybe picking up a little bit more between these two Chevrolets. We'll have 100 laps to go this time by. Again, 1 pit stop still to go to the finish. It's still caution-free, almost 200 laps into a race at Darlington. An older Darlington surface at that. Dark Crypto, welcome on into the stream. There it is, 100 laps remain here at Darlington. Trying that outside. He's actually hit the outside quite well through 1 and 2. I think that's really starting to help him somewhat keep up with Johnson in that end of the racetrack. Johnson's so good on the bottom. And 3 and 4, Gordon seems to just be better overall, especially when he goes back down to the bottom again. Couldn't quite get the grip off corner X at that time he wanted. Last lap of the race, by the way, for Jimmy Johnson was a 28.512. That last lap was a 28.632. A little over 1.2 seconds, roughly. Or sorry, 0.21 seconds. About the difference there. 28.5 on that last lap. Lap car's in the way. Gordon challenges again on the outside through 1 and 2 for the lead. Is he going to be able to get around Jimmy Johnson? Clay Dixon in that 103 car starting to hold up Jimmy quite a bit. Into 3 and 4. A little tighter for Gordon to try the top on that end of the racetrack. Johnson finally gets underneath the 103 off the exit of 4. So even if Gordon had a run, he was going to get boxed in. And he couldn't quite get the run. Johnson will put the 103 lap down, I believe, for the first time today. Just to know how many drivers are lapped down with this thing going caution-free all the way up to this point. Surprised the top 2 are this close together in a caution-free race. Again, about 200 laps in. I like how the Tigers have been playing the last 2 weeks, for sure. They've won 8 of their last 11 games. They've lost their last 2, but they played really close games against the Royals the last couple days. They almost came back in the 9th inning. They were down 7-3 2 nights ago. Got a 2-run homer to kickstart the inning, and then they stranded the bases loaded, so the tying run was at second. And then they stranded like 9 runners on base yesterday when they lost 3-2 throughout the entire game. So they definitely had an opportunity to win those 2 games also. And if they would have done that, they would have been on a 6-game win streak. So they started so terribly this year. I thought it was just going to be another one of those seasons. But they're starting to claw themselves at least back into the middle of the division battle there with Cleveland for 3rd. We're only like 2 games behind them. We're already ahead of Minnesota. 3rd in the division standings wouldn't be bad, honestly. And if we have about a 500 record, that'd be a good season for Detroit, considering they've had sub 500 seasons the last 5 years now, and 4 of which they've been in the bottom 3 in the league, so it's been pretty bad recently. And Johnson stuck behind the 122. Jeff Gordon back out in front again. Johnson with a crossover. Oh, a little contact. The 122 kind of moved down. Gordon went to follow him, and he didn't realize that Jimmy was underneath him. Really broke that 24 car's momentum. Gets around the 122. Put him a lap down. Ooh, Gordon lifted off turn 2. He caught him in a bad spot. 24 and the 48 battling a lot harder what they were even on the last tire stint. And you wonder if Ryan Newman or anybody else in third place, whoever it might be at the time, is trying to close in just a tad bit more. We have just 90 laps to go at Darlington. Well, the Twins were expected to be one of the best teams in the league again, but they're last right now. I'm pretty sure they got the worst record in the league. Shocking. They're a couple games behind Detroit. Well, no, they were like one game behind them for a while there, and then Tigers won, 8 of their last 11. I think they're like 4 or 5 games ahead of them now. And we're starting to catch Cleveland for third all of a sudden. Twins are really bad this season. That's just shocking. And they've lost a couple guys, but yeah, I don't know if they're banged up or what it is. Still a long season, but to be the last in the league almost 2 months in, it's a third of the season in, it's a little scary. Little playoff hopes, that's for sure. Brad Carter in the 111. I thought that said Bobby Carter at first. I was like, Bobby Carter's in NASCAR 05. I had to double check there for a second. Like, wait a minute. I don't remember Bobby Carter being in this game. What a coincidence that would have been. Well, Johnson's catching Brad Carter pretty quickly. See if Gordon might try to go on the attack and trap Johnson behind Carter. Into turns 3 and 4. Jimmy holds it down on the bottom for now. Still sits behind Carter. Lap 209 at the line. Johnson trying to maybe look down low into 1 and 2. He's underneath the 111 of Carter. And clear. Gordon inside Carter as well off turn 2. Just being patient and following the 48 car. He knows there's still one more pit stop to go. 85 plus laps, or I should say just less than 85 laps left now. Is still a lot of time at Darlington. We've seen guys go as far as 65 laps on fuel today. Johnson has honestly gone the furthest, and he's gone 65 laps. So once we get to that point, this window's likely going to open up, and we might see some guys short pitting to the end. I wonder if Jeff Gordon might try to do that, and if he does, I think Johnson has to come into the pits, or he's going to lose too much time to the 24. He can stay within a couple seconds and run him back down again, but if he falls more than that back, it's only going to be harder with less laps. Yeah, for sure. Nelson Cruz is still raking, though, for how old he is. It's insane. Dude's 41 now, and he's still hitting like 30 homers a year. It's kind of like David Ortiz a little bit, where he just like consistently puts up those numbers, like all the way through his career. Cruz is a little bit of a late bloomer compared to Ortiz, but still. It's crazy. There's a little contact between a couple lap cars up there. So the question now with 81 laps to go is, again, will we stay caution-free? Especially just being outside the pit window to the end still. That could differentiate some strategy calls maybe late, where we'll see some guys pit. Take tires now, and then, or do you just keep the track position as well. We have not gone caution-free in a cup race on NASCAR 05. We did go caution-free through 2 truck races before. And I believe 2 Busch Series races as well. But not in the Nextel Cup Series through the first 4. This is race 5. This would have been one of the last tracks I would have thought we could have gone caution-free, but hey, so far so good. And it's been a fun race so far today, regardless. These cars slipping and sliding around Darlington Raceway. Still a tight battle for the lead, as you see right here, between these Hendrick Chevrolets. Another Hendrick Chevrolet coming up in the picture, Terry Labonte. He's already 1 lap down. He's about to go 2 laps down. Have to assume he's likely going to let his teammates on by and let them race it out. And he was battling for position. 161 of Don Evans. Evans, one of those other fantasy drivers. Labonte goes high. He's actually got a run on Evans. He might get to the outside of him. Looks like he's leaving a lot of bottom open here for Johnson and Gordon to get underneath him. Johnson couldn't quite reach him that time into turns 1 and 2. He's not going to reach him again, though, into 3 and 4 either. Middle of the corner he does, and now we'll get around Labonte. Bonnie, you mean Bobby? Yeah, both the Labonte brothers are in this. Terry in the 5 still, the 18's driven by Bobby. Bobby Labonte should be in the next game as well, I believe, in 06, because I know he raced for Joe Gibbs until 2005, and that would be the 2005 season. And then he raced for some smaller teams, too, that might be in some future games. I'm pretty sure he's in the 43 in 07 for Petty Enterprise. Tell you what, Bob... I almost said Bob Evans. Don Evans, the 161. Not making it easy for Jimmy to get around it. We got another car blowing up off turn 2, down the back straightaway, very slow. Third driver has seen blowing an engine today, and that is the 42 of Jamie McMurray. In his second year in the Cup Series here in 2004, and McMurray going to go down. Full-time season, I should say. He made a couple starts at the end of 2002 for the injured Sterling Marlin. Got a win at that point in time as well, but his first full-time year was 2003. This would be his second full-time season. Chip Ganassi Racing. Yes, he's in 06, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't played 06 in a while. I kind of forgot the driver lineup. Yeah, 05 and 07 are the 2 games I remember the most. So I kind of knew coming in what the driver lineup was going to be and a lot of the paint schemes for a lot of these guys. But I didn't play much Thunder 04 or much 06. I really remember playing 06 there for a little bit, though, but I don't remember playing too much of Thunder 04 until this playthrough that we did last year, 2020. Yeah, last year. Trying to work his way by the next lap car, the 133. Jeff Burton in the 99 car just up ahead for Rush Fenway. And Johnson gets around the 133. A lot heavier lap traffic now compared to what we saw during the last tire stint. Yes, this would be the 2004 season. First year of the chase. Hence the name, the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 title name. Johnson slides into the wall. Giving Gordon a run now into 3 and 4. That's the first time he got in the wall in turns 1 and 2 all day long. So now he's earned his Darlington stripes on both ends of the racetrack. Took over 200 laps for him to do it. Just kissed it off the end of turn 2. Cesar Andres Regino Vigara, welcome to the stream. Wait for the first PS3 he had. He died on you. Yeah, I don't remember what the first PS3 game I had. Pretty sure it was a while before I had that PS3. It's probably around 2010, because that's when that World of Outlaws video game, Sprint Car video game came out. I remember that being one of the first games I played over there. Because I had a PSP for a long time. After a PS2 died, my original PS2 died. I had a PSP, and I was playing that for like a few years before I got it. Before we got a PS3, like the early 2010s, roughly. I still played on that PSP for a long time. I don't know if it still works anymore. It probably doesn't. A buddy of mine's got it now. Gave it to his little brother at the time. Got some use out of it. I think it might have broke. I don't know. It was really old. I mean, I used it from... I remember getting my PSP when I was in 2nd grade. Would have been probably about like 2005-ish. Maybe 2004 or somewhere around there. I think it was 05. No, it was 04. Because the first... no, it would have been 05. Because when I got it, the game that came with it was MLB The Show 2006, which would have been the first ever MLB The Show game. And so yeah, it would have been the 05 season. So that was the year. Got my PSP. So from that year, from 2nd grade, I had that thing all the way until like my junior year of high school, before I got rid of it. It was crazy how long it lasted. It worked like perfectly fine. Dropped it a few times by accident. Just still worked. Beast of a handheld game, that's for sure. Never had the Vita, but I always had that one. Yeah, this game's a lot easier to steer than Thunder 04. It's still difficult, but it's not as difficult. Probably why I was able to go over 200 laps for getting into the wall in turns 1 and 2 at Darlington. They are within that pit window to make it to the end on fuel. 65 laps is the limit. Nobody's hit pit road yet, though. Will Hall in the 184 right in front. Both the Ganassi cars of Marlin and Mears were side by side. Mark Martin up there. All those guys are already 1 lap down. Trying not to go 2 laps down. 230 laps complete. Lap 231 now. And again, caution free. And the Carolina Dodge dealers 400. Casey Mears going to go 2 laps down on the 184. Earl Hall in danger going 2 laps down. Jimmy got loose off 2. Kind of had to file in line behind Hall. Gets underneath them into 3 and 4 now. Now we have some drivers hitting pit road for their final time today. Oh, car in the wall off turn 2. A lapper that was on the outside of Jeff Gordon. Oh, wow. All 3 of those lap cars right in front of Johnson coming to pit road. Well, that clears out the area in front of him. He's got Joe Nemechek a little bit further up ahead yet. Still waiting to see when Jeff Gordon hits the pits. Gotta assume Johnson's probably coming right when he does. Johnson being the lead car, though. That might make it tough. Ricky Casey Mears down on the inside. And he kind of blends in traffic in between the top 2. That's going to hold Gordon up as he's trying to get up to speed still. The 3 and 4 is rookie Casey Kane. Johnson just underneath Joe Nemechek. Johnson slides up the track. Right in line behind Nemechek. Gordon with a run, a tap off the wall. Jeff Gordon to the lead with just less than 60 laps to go at Darlington. Remember, he led going into the last green flag stops, too. Ankles McDuffie, welcome to the stream. Johnson underneath Gordon off 4. Drag race. Johnson leads the lap at the line. Gordon trying to side draft him back, though, into 1 and 2. Really tries to pinch him down in the center of the corner. Jimmy slides on these older tires. Barely keeps it off the lap car of Joe Nemechek. Now he's got him to his outside after Jeff Gordon holds clear for the lead. Fends the battle off. Gordon hooking that bottom through 3 and 4. Quarter of a tank of fuel left on the 48 of Johnson. Sort of struggling with the handling of his car here later in the run. Likely wants to stay out as long as Gordon stays out, it looks like. Kind of crisscrosses, gets underneath him off turn 2. Into 3 and 4. Tries that slide job. Didn't clear him initially. Now he clears him off the exit of turn 4. Gordon about ended up in the wall. Have to see how the cycling of green flag stops is going to go between these two. Who's going to cycle out in front? Going to be the money stop. They don't want to pit yet. They don't want to be those drivers falling a lap down. As soon as one comes, the other's soon going to follow. Gordon stays out another lap, so does Johnson. And a 4 pit stop race from the beginning, still caution free. Gordon crosses back to the bottom through 1 and 2. Jimmy trying to hold his line on the outside. Oh, gotta get dicey down the back straightaway. He's gonna let him go. He doesn't want to wreck. Didn't want to be on that outside into 3 and 4. He lets Jeff go. Gordon back out in front again. What a battle between the 24 and the 48 here in Darlington. Gordon blocking the bottom. Jimmy couldn't take that run. Jimmy might have that advantage being in second. Just waiting to see when Gordon comes onto pit road. And again, Gordon stays out. Johnson in line right behind him. Great, off turn 4. Another side-by-side battle as Jimmy gets the drive off. Fun little battle with these two Hendrick teammates on fresh tires. He slides down to the bottom. He drove it way too deep. He was going to try to slide up in front of him, but he didn't clear him, and Gordon has a huge drive off the exit of turn 2. Oh, no, these are by far my favorite. And there goes Gordon onto pit road. So he's going to come to pit road first. He had about 0.2 of a second lead on Johnson, just like before the last pit stops. Jimmy couldn't get around him, so Johnson's going to come to pit road this time, but Gordon's going to have that 1 lap advantage. It's going to be a couple second difference in lap times. A little over 0.8 of a second difference right now between Johnson's fastest lap and that last lap he ran. So Jimmy's going to come into the pits. 70 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Got to make sure he doesn't speed here. Does not. And this is the money stop. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. Gonna make another wedge adjustment, half a round going in to try and tighten this race car up a tad more to the end. And Ryan Newman now is gonna take over the race lead during green flag pit stops. He's already led a couple times today. Mad Max Big, welcome to the stream. Yep, Eastern Standard Time Zone. It's about 9:45 current time here. Just getting down to the end of this race, though, here at Darlington. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss a beat. Who is going to win this race off pit road between Gordon and Johnson? Gordon, remember, and there goes Gordon. Wow, what a fast stop by Gordon. I mean, he comes up quite a ways ahead of Johnson. Johnson, a little contact with Mears trying to get back up. They're side by side off the pit lane. Mears gets back into Johnson off the exit of the corners. They're just trying to get up to speed and they're running into one another. Gordon came out light years ahead of Johnson. He only pitted one lap before him. That was just a blistering fast stop by the 24 crew versus the 48. And Johnson's going to have to run him down here in the final 50 laps. Nemechek might have to pit still also. Ryan Newman's in the pits currently. He tried to stay out as long as he could. He's in now. Everybody's good on fuel to the end of the race. I believe one more driver outside of Newman still has to pit. Yeah, these older games are definitely my favorite. NASCAR, I mean, this personally is my personal favorite. Kevin Harvick to the lead. So he's going to lead his first lap of the race. 5 bonus points for him now. Took until the final less than 50 laps to do it, and it's on pit strategy. But hey, 5 bonus points is 5 bonus points. Good for him. It's hard telling exactly how far ahead Gordon is ahead of Johnson. Jimmy's got to run him down here. He's got a lot of open room to run once he got around Nemechek, though, so that's nice. We're going to set ourselves up for a wild one. It's been a great battle in the second half of this race between Gordon and Johnson. Harvick is on pit road after leading 2 laps, nearly 3. Tough to tell if he led that third at the line there. Jeff Gordon back out in front. He's got about 1.5 seconds on Jimmy Johnson. Lap car, about a car length or 2 ahead of Gordon. That might slow him up a little bit, but once Gordon gets around there, he's going to have another gap before getting into more lap traffic. But once we get into more lap traffic beyond this one lap car up here, it is going to be a huge, heavy dose of lap traffic likely into the end of this race. And again, we'll see if we stay green. No caution so far all day at Darlington. Now it's only a 400 miler versus 500, but still. Track that's too tough to tame. A lot of these drivers doing a great job. That's Harvick just coming out of the pit lane up ahead. Guess he'll be the next lap car these guys are going to have to catch. He's going to have a little bit fresher tires, though. Harvick's going to be really difficult to pass for both Gordon and Johnson here. Johnson's less than a half a second off the lead. Gordon definitely wasted a lot of time trying to get around the lap car. The 174 is Seth Taylor. Robbie Gordon just coming off the pit lane. He's too far back, though, to lead a lap. Fortunately for him, but he's on the same strategy, really similar strategy as his teammate Harvick. He's got to run on Gordon after getting around the 174 as they both close in on Harvick. Took over half the race for Gordon to get to the lead. He's led a decent amount of laps since. Johnson to the inside off turn 2. Oh boy, they almost got into one another. That was close. Johnson kind of locked the tires up. 3 and 4 is a lot harder to go side by side, but they made it through the corner. That was sketchy. Oh man, Johnson's still loose in the 1 and 2. Slides around big time, and Gordon holds on to the lead. Doesn't want to use his stuff up too early in the run, but he's also got fresher tires. This is when he wants to make the move, and Gordon about got into the wall off turn 2. Maybe overdriving his car a little bit as well. Yeah, no cautions, but we have had a lot of action for the lead between these two in the second half. The Newman, Johnson, and Riggs at the beginning of the race as well. Again off turn 2. Johnson low underneath Gordon, but again has to make the pass on the toughest end of the racetrack. And again he tries to hold it, and they somehow aren't making contact. And this time he completes it. What a move. Johnson back out in front at lap 253. 40 to go this time by. We might have another Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch-like finish here tonight the way this one's rolling. That'd be a heck of a lot of excitement for you guys if that's the case. Gordon trying to win his first race of the young season. Johnson trying to win his first almost... Oh, he had it saved and then he overcorrected it into the wall in 3 and 4. That wall a handful of times now tonight, and Jeff Gordon's back out in front again. time he gets underneath Gordon off 4. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to get around him in 1 and 2, but it'll be easier. Well, he made it look easy. I'll tell you that much. Same area of the track that Gordon was able to cross him over earlier, though, when Johnson slid back in front of him, but not that time. Want to be in the lead into the closing laps if you can help it, control your own destiny. It's a nice thing with these two being teammates. You would assume they're going to race clean to the end with one another, as they have for the most part up to this point. This car's moving around a lot. He's got side-by-side lap traffic. Jeff Green in the 43, the 32 of Ricky Craven right in front of him, and now Green's blocking him down the back straightaway. I don't think Green's a lap down yet. I think he's the last car in the lead lap. Craven's already 2 laps down. Now Johnson gets underneath Green off turn 2. This is his way around both him and Craven. Gordon's got to follow. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race over the next 8 laps, as we are later in the going. Comment in the chat below, who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Gordon, Johnson? Maybe a caution comes out. Bunches of the field back up. Something we haven't seen all day today. Hope to let this play green to the end, because this is already going to be wild as it is. Ideally, he'd want to make Gordon get around him on the top. You got to assume Gordon's going to be capable of doing it. He's going to go high in 1 and 2. It's going to give him more of a run down these straightaways if Gordon can hold the corner. Lap car just scraped the wall off the exit of turn 2. That was the 144 of Jason Kennedy. Harvick's going to be tough to pass again. He's got fresher tires than both Johnson and Gordon right now. As long as Gordon stays within this range, you know he's got a chance. Gonna depend how much Jason Kennedy's going to hold up Jimmy Johnson still. And Kennedy's still in the lead lap as well. As Kosh comes out, he wants a good shot at a better finish. Will Burton in the 0 is already 1 lap down. Man, Kennedy really chopped him off into 1 and 2. Gordon gained a lot that time. Also doesn't want to be too patient behind these lap cars, knowing how late in the race we are. HMS teammate battle indeed. These two have had classic finishes with one another. I think back to Martinsville in 2007. Photo finish beating and banging, in fact, between the 48 and the 24 in those final laps. Likely going to see a lot of clean racing out of these two here today, but Johnson cannot get through this lap traffic. He slides up a little bit in 3 and 4. Gets underneath Kennedy off turn 4, finally gets underneath, and that's the first big step in trying to get around him. He's loose into turn 1, contact with the lap car of Kennedy. As he gets up into the wall now. That broke the momentum of the 48. Gordon's coming on the outside. Into 3, side by side for the lead. Gordon trying to hold on to that right rear corner panel of Johnson's race car, but Johnson pulls clear off 4. 29 to go here at Darlington. Tires are slowly wearing throughout this run. Harvick's really pulled away quite a bit as well. Side by side right in front of Jimmy. These lap cars, you got nowhere to go. Both of them are already one lap down as well. Doug Ferguson and the 0 of Ward Burton. Johnson's way down low. He had a little contact with the 147. And with that contact, Gordon gets to the lead on the outside into 3. Slingshots to the bottom. Oh, a little bit of a checkup. Jimmy almost got into the back of Jeff. And to check up himself. He doesn't want to get into him. He's going to have to just follow Gordon past the 0 and the 147. That contact between the lap car and Jimmy Johnson cost him so much ground. Oof, almost got into the side of the 0 of Ward Burton. Hustles past those 2 lap cars. Massive run, too, off turn 4. Stick with the far chase cam to the end of the race. Still couldn't quite get underneath Jeff Gordon into turn 1. 25 laps to go. Still a decent amount of lap cars up ahead of these two. Side by side into 3 and 4. Oh, wow. Jeff barely keeps it off the wall. Jimmy barely keeps it off Jeff and clears him off 4 again. Back and forth. Go these teammates. I don't know if Rick Hendrick's loving this, how clean they're racing with each other and how fun this battle is, or if he's nervously awaiting the checkered flag, hoping these guys don't take each other out. Knowing one of his cars already done for the day, Vickers blew an engine early, and then Terry Labonte's 2 laps down. Hoping these guys bring it home 1-2, and hopefully nobody else comes back into the mix. They do, they might have to settle down and make sure at least one of these guys go to victory lane. Brendan Gaughan, Scott Riggs, Greg Biffle, the next lap cars ahead. Gaughan, I believe, is on the lead lap. Riggs and Biffle are 1 lap down. Harvick is the next car ahead of them. He's on the lead lap as well. And I'm not exactly sure how many cars are a lap down, how many are on the lead lap. No cautions today and no leaderboard to show. I haven't been able to check. Not like Thunder 04 where you could pause it and check the current leaderboard as well. Braves football team, welcome to the stream. We'll have 22 to go at the line this time by. Johnson just gets underneath of Gaughan in the 77. Gaughan, another rookie. Behind another rookie of Scott Riggs in the 10. Johnson underneath Riggs. Gordon's just going to have to be patient and follow Jimmy through this lap traffic for now. I mean, ideally, if he could use the lap cars as a pick, as we've seen a couple times between these two guys battling in the second half of the race, that would be ideal. It's as close as Gordon has gotten to Johnson now, as Johnson's trying to put Biffle a second lap down. Doesn't want to go a second lap down. He's blocking Johnson. Welcome back, Jackson, just in time. 13 people watching. We'll have 20 laps to go at Darlington this time by. Stay tuned. Battle between the HMS teammates and Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Intense, clean, real. It's all here live on KRC. Hit that like button as well if you haven't already. Goal is 25. We're at 12 currently, but more people watching what we have likes right now. Hit that like button. Oh, Jimmy's in the wall for just a second time today off turn 2, but he keeps it going. Gordon's underneath him and takes the lead off turn 4. Jimmy slapped the wall again. Johnson cannot get around Biffle. NASCAR fan Larson, welcome to the stream. This was NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Oh boy, Jimmy went high to get around Biffle, and He didn't get into the corner very well, and checking up gives Johnson the lead right back again. Now we'll see if Johnson could get around the Biff. Scott Wimmer's coming up in front of Biffle as well. Biffle must have fresher tires or something, because he's been holding on for a while, even though he's already a lap down. Finally, Jimmy gets underneath Biffle off turn 4. Should make the pass in 1 and 2 now that he's underneath him. And he does. Scott Wimmer staying up high, so Johnson's going to get under him now off turn 2. Another car's blowing an engine on the inside of the track. Couldn't tell exactly who it was. The fourth driver we've at least seen blowing an engine. Johnson gets around Wimmer. Wow, Gordon barely cleared Biffle. Just about ran into the side of Wimmer off turn 2. He's driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get underneath Johnson. Both of them hugging that hashed white line on the inside through 1 and 2. A little bit of a break, and then there's about 5 or 6 more lap cars. These guys are likely going to catch still before the finish. This is based on 2004. And again, Jimmy slides up. Gordon's a little better in 3 and 4. Johnson's a little better in 1 and 2, but Gordon couldn't quite get underneath him, slides up the racetrack behind. 14 to go now. Harvick's trapped behind a couple more lap cars. Elliott Sadler also on the lead lap up here, so they're battling for position, and they're on the lead lap. Gordon's got to run on the top. He's got to give him some straightaway speed down the back. We'll see if he takes a slingshot move into turn 3. Johnson kind of slid the tires at corner entry. He holds it down on the bottom as well as he can, stays out in front. Harvick was able to get around Sadler for position, meanwhile. Kyle Petty, who's a couple laps down, is kind of holding these guys up. Somebody else is, too. Can't tell who. It just seems like Johnson gaps Gordon off turn 2 majority of the time, but then Gordon just closes right back up. Driving it so much deeper in 3 and 4. I mean, there he is again, right on that back bumper, waiting for Johnson to make another minor mistake, which is very easy at this racetrack. Maybe he'll use one of these lap cars as a pick. That's possible as well. Johnson's got to be able to stay low and keep that from happening. Maybe they stay outside. I mean, the problem is they're side by side right in front of Johnson. He hasn't quite gotten to him yet. He's about to. But, I mean, here they are off turn 4. Oh, contact with the lap cars. Sadler made contact with the 103. Johnson slides up the track in 1 and 2, and Gordon is back out in front. That right front just went to the yellow, entering the corner. Jimmy had to get on the brakes hard to keep it off the wall. And he checked up a lot off for the lap prior because of those lap cars making contact. And now Gordon is going to be picked behind the 103, and Johnson quickly gets back out in front. 10 laps to go at Darlington this time by. Got to quickly get around Sadler and Petty. And does. He clears them both off turn 2. Gordon still in the process of trying to get around Sadler. He's got Petty right in front of him, and now he gets to the inside of Petty. Johnson slid up a tiny bit, but Gordon was still working on Petty. He couldn't get underneath Johnson. And they're nose to tail between the top two again. No lap cars in between them anymore. 9 to go. So, man, dude, 22, you're back at the right time. This is going to be an exciting finish. Another one this season. All these guys have done a great job around this tough racetrack all day long, especially with each other. Very few contact. I mean, they've ended up in the wall a couple times. That's about it. Johnson's only hit the wall twice through 1 and 2, maybe about 5 or 6 times at 3 and 4 today, and that's been about it. See, for the most part, his car's fairly clean. Loose in 1 and 2 that time. Again, he's been a little looser late in the run. Really frees up. His tires wear out. He slides up the track a little bit, but Gordon wasn't close enough to get underneath him again. He's going to have to, one of these times, to get that run. He won a few races in his Cup career. A lot of people could say that. Goes up the track at 3 and 4. Again, Gordon not quite close enough to make the move. 6 laps to go at Darlington. Sadler would be the first car lap down. Green-white checker is possible. And again, we are still caution-free today at Darlington. Fatigue has to be setting in for a lot of these drivers. They got to fight through it for a couple more laps. Nope, Denny Hamlin's not in this game. He was a rookie in 2006. He's not in the Busch Series yet. I think he'd be in the Busch Series in the next game. 5 to go. Gordon's right there. Jimmy's not making a mistake, though. Gordon's going to have to send it into one of these corners and try to get underneath him. He's wiggling around a little bit, but not enough. Gordon's definitely got that pressure on Johnson. 4 more laps. Jimmy trying to block the inside into 1 and 2. They're probably going to catch Harvick in that lap car in front of him. I believe that might be Bobby Labonte in the 18. They're both battling for position, and both on the leading lap is the 18 and the 29. They're not going to be easy passes either. Little Chevrolets in front of the 2 Chevys. Battling for the win. Gordon is right there on that left rear. I'd be shocked if he used the bumper on his teammate. 3 to go. Guess it wouldn't be impossible, but that would be a shocker for sure. Really closed on Kevin Harvick. Truex is not, no. Johnson underneath Harvick. 2 to go at the line. He better get around him quick. Into 1 and 2. It looks like he will. He's got to clear him off turn 2 and does. Harvick is now the first car lap down. Side-by-side lap traffic a little bit further ahead of Bobby Labonte. About a 3 or 4 car length lead now opened up between the 48 and the 24. Johnson slides up the track. Oh, Harvick almost. Oh, Harvick's underneath him. And Johnson's in the wall off 4 with Harvick on the inside. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Contact, around goes Johnson. Into Gordon. The leaders have spun. On the final lap of the race, we stay green. Jeff Gordon is making his way through 1 and 2 through the carnage. Johnson is trying to get the car corrected with traffic boiling around him, and he keeps sliding more. Unbelievable. And Jeff Gordon through 3 and 4 is going to come around, and he's going to win at Darlington on a last lap pass. And by the time Johnson finally gets his car corrected after spinning for an eternity, is going to fall back to 6th. Unbelievable. No cautions on the final lap, and Gordon with the contact barely sneaks through to at least get the win for Hendrick Motorsports. And what a tough finish for Johnson, who just dominated all day long. Oh my goodness, a heartbreaker. Newman caught up. He was only about 1.9 back. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. I did not see that coming of anything that could have happened. Harvick crossed Johnson over to try and get back on the lead lap. And Johnson, I mean, it's just so tight to run side by side here. Johnson scraped the wall off 4. He was out of shape pretty much all the way down the front straightaway. And when he caught Harvick into 1, he ended up in the wall and then backed it into Gordon. Gordon somehow kept it straight. And Gordon wins his first race of the year. We now have 5 different winners in the first 5 races. Of all the ways he could have lost the race. This is also why I love the EA Sports games, that there's no caution on the final lap. That we were at least able to race it back to the checker, but... Oh, man, that stinks. That would have been the only caution, too, but there's no cautions on the final lap. That's just... I mean, it's a heartbreaker. It was a wild finish, but... Golly. Gordon, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, that's part of why Jeff Gordon's 4-time champ. Last lap pass for the win. We need to check out the highlight reel on that. They have to have something for that finish. All the ways to lose a race, my goodness. The fact Johnson couldn't even finish second out of all that when they were... I mean, Newman was somewhat close. He finished within 1.9 at Gordon. Gordon lost that momentum after the contact, but he at least was able to keep it going. And there's the contact off the wall, sideways. Oh, my goodness. I was trying to do everything I could to save it. I was wiggling all the way down the straightaway, and with Harvick still there. If I would have backed out and let Harvick go, Gordon would have just gotten around anyway, but at least we would have ended up second. Yeah, they would have thrown the yellow if that was NASCAR Heat 5, and we probably would have finished second because of it, but... Oh, my gosh. At least we were able to race back to the checker. No caution waved. Harvick didn't... I mean... He probably raced leaders a little harder, but he didn't turn us. I was just sideways once I got the wall off for him because he was on the inside. I'm surprised he crossed us over. I thought when we cleared him off turn 2 with a lap and a half to go, I thought for sure we were just going to stay ahead of him in 3 and 4, and we didn't. That's just unbelievable. 20 seconds off the lead in 6th. There's a look at the top 10. We'll take a look at the full race results. Jeff Gordon with the win again. First of the year. Ryan Newman finishes 2nd. Matt Kenseth 3rd. Casey Kane, the rookie, finishes 4th. Tony Stewart 5th. Jimmy Johnson 6th. Kurt Busch 7th. Dale Jr. 8th. Rusty Wallace 9th. Bobby Labonte rounds out the top 10. I don't think Harvick spun in that either. I couldn't really tell if he did or not. I know Gordon escaped. I couldn't tell if Harvick might have made it through or not. Yeah, Kyle Busch, unfortunately, it's over. 25 laps led for Gordon, one of them being the most important lap of the race. Newman led 33, mainly early in the race, still finishes 2nd after starting 2nd. Gordon as well started 8th. 229 of the 293 laps led for Johnson today. I mean, he led a lot of laps. Gordon really put a lot of pressure on him there in those final just over 100 laps of the race. And it was a fight from then on. I mean, he put himself in position for something like that to happen there towards the end. And got the win. And if he wouldn't have been there, we could have let Harvick go. Wouldn't have even tried to pass him, but we had to pass him because Gordon was there. Otherwise, Gordon would have used him as it was almost a lose-lose situation there. And we basically wrecked ourselves trying to win, but which in a format where, you know, points are critical, you got to be in the top 10 in points to make the playoffs. Win and you're in doesn't matter. So us winning at Rockingham, 2nd race of the year, doesn't matter. 54 lead changes, my goodness. Let's see. Sadler was the last car in the lead lap. So 12 drivers finished on the lead lap. Labonte led 1, Harvick led 2 due to green flag stops. Scott Riggs led 3. That was at the very beginning of the race. And take a look at who all DNF. Brian Vickers, Dale Jarrett, Jamie McMurray. We also saw blow an engine. Coleman blew an engine there late as well. Those are the only 4 DNFs today. And again, no cautions. 2 hours, 23 minutes to finish a 400-mile race at Darlington because there were no yellows. What a quick race pace that was. Average speed was 167.4 miles an hour. I mean, that's just blistering fast. Caution free at Darlington, too. And we still had a crash on the last lap. My goodness. Thanks for everybody tuning in here tonight. How could you not have fun watching this one? Hit that like button down below. Helps get these streams and these videos recommended under other related NASCAR content on YouTube as we continue to grow this channel. A lot of support from you guys, especially recently. Greatly appreciated as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode comes back. Xfinity Series at Dover. Should be a lot of fun. Competed for a win there in the fall. We did not get the win. I believe we finished 4th. So hopefully we get our first win at Dover on the Xfinity Series side of the career mode and try to go for that 4th win of the season. We lost by nose to Timmy Hill at Talladega last night. So we'll see how that will go going forward. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you then. By the way, start time will be between 8 and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but hit that bell notification so you guys don't miss another upload as well. And again, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.